We came across a story that stopped us in our tracks. A parent, a parenting book, and one sentence that changed everything. The kind of moment that cracks you open when you least expect it. When does learning to be a better parent mean facing who raised you? Here's what happened. I couldn't get past the first sentence. I just sat there staring at the page. It was my second parenting book. I'd been trying to do this right, be the kind of parent my son deserved. The first book had already made me cry more than once, but I kept going because I wanted to be better. I wanted to break whatever patterns I'd inherited without even realizing it. So I picked up the second one, How to Talk, so little kids will listen. I opened it that morning while my son napped, cup of coffee next to me, ready to learn. Then I read the first sentence. The way we talk to children will become their inner voice. I had to put the book down. My hands were shaking. I counted my breaths. 1, 2, 3. It wasn't supposed to hit me like that, but suddenly I was thinking about my own inner voice, the one I'd been carrying around for decades, the one that told me I was too sensitive, that I was overreacting, that I should just be grateful. And I realized that voice didn't come from nowhere. You know what the strange part was? My parents weren't monsters. They weren't abusive or neglectful in any obvious way. They fed me, kept a roof over my head, showed up to school events. By most standards, they were fine. But reading these parenting books, it was like holding up a mirror to my entire childhood and seeing all the tiny cracks I'd learned to ignore, the dismissals, the impatience, the way my feelings were always just a little too much. With every chapter I read, I felt this strange mix of hope and grief. Hope, because I could do this differently for my son. I could be the parent these books describe. But grief, because I was mourning something I never had. I kept telling myself I was being unfair, that I should just focus on the future, not the past. Maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe I was holding them to an impossible standard. But the feeling wouldn't go away. A few days later, my mom called. She wanted to know if she could come visit, spend the afternoon with her grandson. I said yes, of course. She's getting older. I know our time is limited. But when I hung up, I felt this knot in my chest. Because the more I learned about gentle parenting, the harder it was to be around them. I'd watch my mom interact with my son. She was kind. She was loving. But I'd also catch these little moments. The edge in her voice when he got too loud. The way she brushed off his feelings when he cried. Small things. Things most people wouldn't even notice. But I noticed. Because I remembered. And here's the thing. It was making me resent them more, not less. I thought learning to be a better parent would help me understand them. Maybe even forgive them. But instead, I just kept seeing all the ways they could have done better and didn't. That night, after my mom left, I picked up the book again. I read about validation, about listening, about making space for big feelings. All the things I was learning to give my son, all the things I never got. I sat there on the couch, book open in my lap, and I just cried. Not loud, dramatic crying, just quiet tears running down my face. Grieving parents I never had. A childhood I couldn't get back. Part of me felt ridiculous. I'm an adult. I have a child of my own. Shouldn't I be over this by now? But another part of me, the part that was learning to listen to my son's feelings, that part wondered if maybe my feelings deserve space too. Every parent faces this question at some point. The question of whether to hold on to the past or let it go, whether grief and gratitude can exist in the same breath. I picked up my phone, put it down, picked it up again. I thought about calling my parents, telling them how I felt, but what would I even say? You weren't terrible, but you weren't great either. I love you, but I'm also angry at you. You did your best, but your best hurt me. There's no script for that conversation, no chapter in the parenting books about how to parent your own parents. So I didn't call. I just sat there, holding all of it, the love, the resentment, the grief. That's when it hit me. Maybe I didn't need to fix this right now. Maybe I didn't need to forgive them or confront them or resolve it all neatly. Maybe I just needed to acknowledge that this was hard, that becoming the parent I wanted to be meant facing the parent I had, and that was going to hurt for a while. I closed the book, made a note to look for a therapist, because if I was going to break these cycles for my son, I needed help carrying the weight of what that meant. The next morning, my son woke up crying. A bad dream. I went to his room, sat on the edge of his bed, asked him to tell me about it. He talked. I listened. I didn't tell him it was just a dream. I didn't tell him to go back to sleep. I just made space for his fear, validated it, stayed with him until he felt safe again. And in that moment, I felt it. The shift. Small, but real. I was doing it. I was being the parent I didn't have. It didn't erase the grief. It didn't make my childhood hurt less. But it meant something. It meant I was breaking the cycle, even if that breaking hurt. My parents are getting older. I know that. And I still don't know how to talk to them about this. Maybe I never will. But I'm learning that I can love them and grieve them at the same time. I can be grateful for what they gave me and sad about what they didn't. I can honor my pain without destroying our relationship. It's messy, it's complicated. But maybe that's what healing looks like. Not a clean resolution. Just the slow, hard work of holding two truths at once. They did their best. And their best wasn't enough. Both can be true. Parenting means breaking cycles, even when it means breaking your own heart a little in the process. Would you confront your aging parents, or would you let it be? Thanks for listening, and tell us your thoughts in the comment section.